Hi everyone, there have been some recent updates to the Screencastify toolbar, and I wanted to highlight those today for you. So I started a tab recording and I selected the option to show drawing tools. And down at the bottom left, you can see I have a ton of options here that are all brand new, or at least they've gotten a little facelift, we'll say. So the first two buttons here, I can pause the recording and end the recording right from there. I also have the mouse pointer, and if I click on that, I can actually animate the mouse a little bit more. So let's say I want fireworks, which means that when I click on somewhere, it will show fireworks. So that's just going to show maybe the students where I'm clicking on the slides, or if I'm selecting something. Then I can also change it back to a classic mouse cursor. Then I have the option to write on my slides. I've always had the option to write on my slides. And of course, if you have a touchscreen laptop, you can use this pen tool, but I have more options in terms of color. Once I draw on a slide, I can choose to clear that selection, but I also want to highlight the fact that you are able to, if I am recording like a slideshow, for instance, you are able to click onto another slide and the drawing for the time being goes away. But if I go back to that original slide, that drawing will come back. So that's just something to note. If you've ever used the drawing tools before, it's something to note that you don't actually have to erase all of the drawing. You can just go between your slides. Next, I have a rectangle, and this just allows me to highlight some information on my screen. Again, I can clear the selection there, or I can go to a new slide. It's going to get rid of that drawing or that rectangle. The third option here is to add some stickers. So if I want students to pay attention to particular pieces of information, or if maybe I'm going through a list of things, I'm going to put a smiley face here, and it basically acts like a stamp. So I can go down the list of information and I can add my smiley faces. Maybe I'm even reviewing student work and I want to give them a thumbs up on something that they did, or some sunglasses on a point that they made me think about. So I'm easily able to add emojis on there. And then of course I can erase those, or again, go to a new slide and those will disappear. Again, I have an eraser just like I would on any of the other three options. And then I can also start my webcam. So we're going to try that right now. Start my webcam. So if I didn't already select my webcam, I can start my webcam during my recording. And these options, they used to be here, but they have come back now. I can enlarge my webcam, so that's going to be on the bottom of my video. I can also make it full screen, and then go back to just the corner there. I can drag the side. I can also move myself over to the side here, and then I can stop my webcam from that toolbar. Next, we're going to look at some editing features that have recently been updated. So I'm in my Screencastify editor now, and again, just like our toolbar, this area has sort of gotten a facelift. So a few things that might look a little different to you. On the top right-hand corner, we still have that export. Right underneath that, we have add media. That used to be a blue circle with a plus button in it. And then along my editor here, I still have the option to cut, crop, zoom. Those options have been there, but now I have the option to blur also. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So I added my webcam before, and what you might be able to tell in my video is that it looks a little grainy. I will say that when I export this, it won't be grainy in there. It's just grainy in this editor here. If I want to blur out my face, I can choose this blur tool, and then it will actually allow me to blur a specific region. So maybe I took some video of my class and I need to blur out some students' faces. I can actually blur multiple spots as well. So I have one blur over my face, and then another blur over my coat, and then I'm going to click done. And you can see along my timeline here, that's where that blur is showing up. If I want to increase the time that shows up, I can move that as well. If I want to delete it, I just click on it and then click delete. Next, I'm able to add text. I was able to do that before, but just as a reminder, this allows me to add any text, maybe headers or footers onto my slides after I've already recorded my video. That's going to show up at the top here along my timeline. Again, once I'm done with everything, I can click export and it will allow me to save that in my Google Drive or as an MP4.